uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom! G'day guys, I'm Bushka, and today we're going to be talking about why the 5.56 ARs are just so bloody good. I mean, this is a video that probably... Oh, this is like saying the sky is blue, water's wet, and frogs don't bounce. The 5.56 ARs, stop me if you've heard this one. The M416 is good. Oh, look, let's talk about it. Let's talk about really why I've started running them. I never used to run these things because I basically felt like that it was unfair. I felt like this gun particularly was unfair. The M416 used to get a massive bonus at 90 frames per second. So if you're a player that was running around on basically a touchscreen TV like I am with an iPad Pro 12.9, I'll play it on mobile, Bushka. No, why should I? I worked hard all my life to earn money so that I could beat up on kids like you grubs. Then you would get a bonus to your rate of fire playing at 90 frames per second. And so doing that with an M416, getting a rate of fire bonus, a time to kill bonus, and having the same recoil as someone playing on a Nokia was like, not fun. Why are these so good? Well, bullet speed. Bullet speed coupled with recoil profile. The reason I'm not having to aim ahead of the target much there, and with this, look how far ahead I am with the UMP, is because of bullet speed. Bullet speed on the UMP is about 360 meters a second. Bullet speed on this SCAR-L is about 900 meters a second. Now they vary plus or minus like a percentage point on those depending on the weapon, but basically bullet speed. Bullet speed means the shell gets there quicker. You can do this stuff with 7.62 weapons. I do. I run 7.62 all the time. Lots of people don't. Watch this. This is a Mark 14 spray. That's a holographic Mark 14 spray at like 70 meters. You can do this, but you can also wipe squads with M416s. You don't have to use 7.62 to win CQC battles, but it sure helps at times. And you don't have to run an M416 to spray with a 3X, but it does it better. So picking the weapon that works for you is just fine and dandy. But you know, that guy had a MG3, and then this guy ran out of ammo on his M416 and started firing his bolty, and everyone does weird stuff. We just do it, and we try and do our best, and that's all there is to it. So, since they unified the rates of fire, though, the M416 no longer has the benefit of an extreme rate of fire. And I've got to say, I've enjoyed this because they've buffed the AKM, they've nerfed a little bit of M416, because obviously the M416 now doesn't get a bonus at 90 frames per second, and they've brought it in line with this gun, the SCAR-L. So the SCAR-L and the M416 have the same rate of fire, the same bullet velocity basically, the same damage. The only difference is the M416 has like a slightly better recoil pattern. And that means that I can do filthy good sprays now with a SCAR-L and not feel like I'm cheating like I did in the old patch. And this is how old man I am. That is why I now run 5.56 ARs, because there's no longer a huge advantage for me running them. Does that not encapsulate how broken I am? I will run the 5.56 AR now because the 5.56 AR does not have an advantage. That's exactly, I am AM radio caller number one. Watch this SCAR-L spray. I mean, that is filthy, right? Absolutely filthy. Looks very nice on me though. I think if you want to run these guns, you should be aware that it's not just the damage of them. They are such versatile weapons. Have a look at this. This, well, first, so this is a pretty standard M416 spray. But then this is like landing in random squads with bugger all gear, no ammunition. So I put a 2X on an M416 and just tap fire it. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's so accurate, and that's the bullet speed we're talking about. And the reason this is so ridiculous is because like the Mini 14 is a DMR, and it is built around the ability of having 1,000 meters a second bullet speed, and I think it's 45 damage. Well, if you're running a SKS, you have 54 damage, okay? And about 800 meters a second bullet speed. So you can't get that same kind of versatility out of a barrel. You can't run a barrel with 46 damage and 700 meters a second bullet speed, or 690, and call it a mini SKS. But you can do that. Like, you can go from tap firing a SCAR-L to doing full auto 6x sprays, right? But if you try that with a barrel, all you're doing is much lower bullet speed and much lower damage as a DMR. Well, I've got no ammo here, right? So what I'm going to do is start tap firing this SCAR-L with a 4X. And I'm basically firing now a Mini 14 Light. This is a very, very close to the 5.56 DMR. Here it goes. Look at this. Just no wasted ammunition here. Absolutely none. And that's how this versatility is so valuable. If you've been playing the game for a long time, having this kind of versatility is filthy. And then switching over to a 6X when you've got all your ammo and just going ham. Is this good for the game? Well, look, I've come to Jesus a little bit on this one. I don't like it because I think it's dumbed down. I think it is making the game too easy. But at the same time, if I'm being honest, this is great for people who are new to PUBG Mobile because it's easy. Like, it's exactly what I said. It's easy. I can make a Graza spray work, right? I can make a Mark 14 with a 3X spray work. I've sprayed people with an 8X on a Mark 14 before. But I've been playing forever. I've been playing since Season 1. I got my Season 2 Ace Parachute, right? Why should I be rewarded for being so good? It shouldn't be like that. And by so good, I mean being experienced. And someone else should have to know all that right off the bat. Or they could just pick up an M4 and spray with it. And they'll be fine. So it's versatile. It does nice damages. It's easy. And the same sensitivity settings that work with an M416 will work with a SCAR-L, with an AUG, with a G36C. So it means newer players don't even have to go into customized sensitivity settings. They can run the same gun on all kinds of different maps with the same sensitivity settings and get the same results. So that's not like that with 7.62 ARs. Like, if you can run a barrel, that doesn't mean that it's going to work on a Graza, and it's certainly not going to work on a Mark 14 or an AKM. You really need to get your stuff sorted there if that's going to be the case. And obviously, the benefit of having level 3 armor is very, very important when dealing with people spraying with M416s because, or SCAR-Ls or AUGs, whatever, because they don't have the heaviest hitting shells. They are very uniform though. So, I mean, outside of the FAMAS, which is its own thing, and I do love the FAMAS, and the Abacan, which again is just a weird thing, they are nearly the same weapon. And they work in a variety of different situations and different loadouts, and bullet speed is a huge advantage. Like, being able to hit the target faster and more accurately is an advantage in real world weaponry, and it's a huge advantage in PUBG Mobile weaponry. The fact that this works is not an accident. Getting the round there first. Look, I've done this a million times, but I'm going to do it. If your first time to the channel is now, let's just talk about this. The quicker the round gets there, the better. Why, Bushka? Because if I fire at you and you fire at me at exactly the same time, and you're using a UMP and I'm using an M416 or a SCAR-L, then if I'm like 75 meters away, even though your gun fires faster, it has a faster rate of fire and does more damage. It does 42.9 base damage compared to my 40.9. I'll win by a big margin because my rounds will get there first. And all that matters is who does the damage first, okay? So if my bullet hits you first, you're going to get knocked. And the rounds that you have in the air that fired out of your gun faster will not count because you're dead or knocked. And that's why these guns still work in medium range combat so freaking effectively. Now, I can go on about this all day, but they're great guns, they work great, and you should be using them. And you should also think about broadening your horizons and maybe trying the same things you're doing with M416s and SCAR-Ls with M762s and AKMs and Mark 14s, because they are doable. Same with MG3s. Anyway, look after yourself. Remember to sub to the channel, like the videos, be nice to your mum, eat your veggies, walk the dog, and as always, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.